Hello everybody, my name's Steve, I'm the British Railroader and welcome to the first time I've done this. So I am doing an unboxing video. So let me explain, because we have a box here and I have a test track back here, and you can probably just see there is a little coach here. Now, about a year or so ago, I decided to pre-order a Hornby TT Class 66. So I'm a little bit fascinated by TT scale, but I'm not into steam engines and that kind of thing, and I don't want an HST. But I do quite like Class 66s, probably because they are American in origin. And I decided to pre-order one of Hornby's offerings in TT scale. Now, just a little word on this before I open the box. So these currently, they've literally just been released. They currently, if you're getting a DCC ready one, which I have, because the DCC sound option wasn't available when I pre-ordered, these have a recommended retail price from Hornby of around £160. You can get them for a discounted price of about £145. Now, I actually got this for £85.54. The reason being that the pre-order price at the time was about £100, just over £100. And if you joined the TT Club, which you could do for free, you then got another discount on top of that, plus free postage. So this constitutes an absolute bargain. And depending on the quality of this will depend on whether or not I expand a little further into TT. However, those of you that love my layout Brooklyn Park, please be reassured I will not be moving away from my American stuff. So we've got the box. I have an implement here, so let's open this. As you can see, I have not pre-opened it at all. I have literally just taken the label off, because I don't know about you, I don't want you guys to know what my address is. Anyway, so here we go. So let's open the box, and there's another box. Okay, let's get rid of that. So this is kind of a Russian doll situation. So there is the biggest barcode that I've ever seen in my entire life. There is some kind of, gumph about the Corgi Collector Club. Okay, and on the back is the invoice. So again, we will move all of this out of the way, and here we have this box. And instead of picking the sellotape off, I am literally going to cut it. Let's take that off of there. At the next stage of the Russian doll, and whoop, here we go. We have a very nicely bubble wrapped box. Let's cut through the bubble wrap. Obviously save the bubble wrap if I can, in case I need to send anything. And here we go. We have one TT Class 66. Let's have a look at the end. So this is GBRF Class 66. This is the British Rail one, 66789. So this is very modern era. Last time I saw this loco in real life was about 2 years ago at Clapham Junction Station. I caught it on one of my early videos, which is called, I think it's called 12 Minutes at Clapham. I will put a link to that at the end of this video. So let's open this up. I do like to open things carefully if I can. So as I said, this is the DCC ready version. So I'm just going to move the box out of the way and lift this out. It's the first time I've ever had any of these TT models. So it's just like any other 00 or HO kind of loco, which is quite quite good. Okay, so let's have a little look. So we've got some instructions here. So this is pretty routine stuff for Hornby, routine maintenance, general safety notes. We've got here lubrication points, the accessories. So this is good because it looks like there are different buffer plates, so you can have it with or without couplers. Shows you how to get the body off, shows you how to fit a decoder. So this has got space for a Next 18 decoder. Apparently they have got settings. So when you download the sounds onto the Next 18 decoder, please make sure that you get the settings for the TT66 because they are quite specific for things like all of the light functions. But looks like there's a space there for the speaker, and be interesting. So they've allowed space for a Sugar Cube speaker. Be interesting to see whether we can fit some kind of keeper live in here. That's something I will have to look at. Okay, but I'm not going to do that today. We're going to run her on just DC power. So I'll show you that in a minute. So let's take her out. So we have here the spare buffer beams. So these are the ones that have got all of the nice pipe work and whatever, if you want to display it. And also it's got some etched brass nameplates. I mean, I've just noticed it's got printed nameplates on them, but it's actually got etched brass nameplates. I don't think I've seen that. Well, obviously, I've never done this scale before, but it's not something you see in the smaller scales. Carefully take this off. There's a bit of cellophane, and there we go. Right, so the first thing that I notice is how heavy this is, and I think it might be worth just, I've got some scales just here. Let's turn these on, and here we go. Put that on there. That's 200 grams. I mean, that's quite weighty for a loco that size. That's quite interesting to get them for, you know, to have that kind of weight. But let's have a look. So the roof detail, very nice little bit of roof detail that you can see there. I'm going to bring this a bit closer. So on the sides, so it looks like, do you know what? They might be, all of these handrails look like they're separately applied. Lots of detail underneath. Looking down below, there are no tyres on these wheels, which I think is good. I don't like rubber tyres. Looking at the front end, and I'll just, let's focus that in. Look at that. I mean, that's quite a lot of detail. I mean, I've seen less detail on sort of 00 and HO scale models, but you've got the windscreen wipers, you've got the coupler cup bar, you've got the knuckle coupler that's stowed. Looks like the light clusters are correct. You've got separately applied. They are separately applied handrails and a separately applied, what do we call it, tail lamp iron there. So there's a lot of stuff going on with this model. I quite like it. First impressions. So first impressions are very, very good. Okay, so what I want to do is I just want to see how it runs. And I've got my little, I bring this over. In fact, let's just, let me just, there we go, focus out again. So we've got my test track. Now what I did was, because I don't have any rolling stock, I bought myself a Pullman car just for the sheer hell of it. I love Pullman cars, and this has got lights in and everything. So I'm going to put 66 on the track, just like that. And then I'm going to get my DC. And apart from the fact that actually it wasn't properly on the track just there, but it still ran. That's straight out of the box. That's quite a smooth runner. Okay, so I'm just going to move the camera position. Okay, so I've just moved the camera down here onto the desk, just so that we can see it running like that. Okay, so what I want to look at is, I'm going to turn this around, and that back there, because I just want to see what happens with the lights. So it looks like it's got front and rear lights. It's going to, and it looks like they're set to day running. So you've got the bigger light on that side, the smaller light on that side. Now I have heard that that can be switched. So it'd be interesting once I put a DCC decoder in there to see if I can switch the lights from day to night running. As I said, it's designed to take a Next 18 decoder, and I do have one ready and waiting. So I'm going to quickly fit that, and then we'll have a look at it on DCC. Okay, so I've fitted an X18 decoder. That's just one of the cheap ones from Lice DCC. And as you can see, she runs. I think she just needs a little bit of running in. Most locos do, where they've not been used that much. And let me just make sure, I think as well, I've not got her quite on the tracks. It's better. Okay, so let's look at these lights. So if I press F1 for the headlights, as you can see, we've got the lights coming on here and here in the daylight position. Now there's no top light coming on, but if I press F2, that light comes on. I press F3, and you can see here the headlights change to the nighttime running position. F4 turns on the cab lights. I don't think F5 does anything, but there we go. And I think if I just change the direction, there we go. The other end lights up and we've got the red lights here. Now, I have not discovered whether or not the red lights, doesn't look like the red lights can be turned on and off independently. I know, interesting. I've just pressed the turn the headlight off and all of the cab lights have come on. If I change direction, the headlights on. Ah, okay, there we go. And then that's all of the cab lights have now gone off. Okay, but the red lights are still on the rear. I think there's a lot of playing around that I need to do with this. And as I said, I think she just needs a period of running in. And obviously the decoder will probably need just a little bit of tweaking. There we go. DCC decoder fitted and tested. Okay, so since I've just tested the lights, I've just worked out that F1 actually independently controls the rear lights. So you can actually have this in the train with all of the front headlights on either day or night configuration, but no red lights at the rear, which is really, really good to know, because I think we're getting used to having more realistic lighting functions on our locos. So let's just finish up. So the loco is lovely. It's a beautiful looking little loco. I think it needs running in. I might probably just put a little drop of lubricant just under here. Though it does seem to be quite well lubricated, but it definitely needs a little bit period of running in. Don't know how I'm going to do that, because literally this is all the track that I've got at the moment, but we'll think of something. I also think, I mean, the level of detail has surprised me. I've got models of this. I've got the ordinary Hornby 00 version, which is based on the Lima version. So the detail, not bad, but it's quite basic. Very little in the way of separately fitted stuff. And I've got an HO scale from a Hano, which is a much higher level of detail. I actually think this is the most detailed of the three of them, which is surprising considering it's the smallest. And I think that's what's drawn me to TT, is that from the get-go, it seems that Hornby have gone for a higher level of detail. So things that I'm going to do, obviously I'm going to run it in. At some point, I'm going to have to build some kind of layout for this to run on. I might be tempted to get myself a Hornby HM7000 decoder, one of their 18-pin ones, so that I can add sound. I'll see how I go. It's not something I want to rush into. And yeah, I might get some rolling stock to go with it. So I think first good impression, I think it's a very, very nice model. I like details. I like what they've done with the circuitry. It's very easy to get into it. Literally, there's a clip this side and a clip that side. You unclip it. It comes up. Mind the wires. There are a lot of wires in here attached to the body and then the chassis. I'm kind of used to that. I will probably fit the the etch brass nameplates at some point. That's a little job to do over Christmas. But yeah, there we go. So that is the Hornby TT Class 66. I like the fact that it's a proper scale to gauge ratio model. I think a lot of people might know that I'm not keen on 00 because of the scale to gauge ratio idiosyncrasies that go with 00. And, you know, I've got a Pullman car to put with it. I mean, of all things, a Pullman car. I love Pullman cars. And they couple very nicely. Very close coupling. Now look at that. If I just let me just focus on that a little bit. I mean, I haven't seen close coupling like that. They're almost buffer to buffer. I mean, this is impressing me more and more that I look at it. Okay, there will be more about TT in the future, but at the moment, this is it. I've got little bits to do and play with these. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. And when you do, and the little bell comes up, click it and click all, and you will be notified of all of my videos as they come out. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below or send them to this email address, and I will be more than happy to answer them. But that's it for this video. Welcome to TT Scale, to my model railway room. My name's Steve. I'm the British Railroader. I'm saying goodbye from my model railway room. Bye-bye.